Hey, good morning, folks. We're out here at Lindo Lake. And you know, I drive a lot of cars, and everybody keeps asking me, what's your favorite? What's your favorite? You're not going to believe it. Yes, I had a McLaren a while back, great car. This one is top of the list right here. What is it? It's a Toyota Corolla, 2025. Not your normal Corolla. This is a GR Corolla. And what's GR stand for? Gazoo Racing. That's Toyota's racing division. And let me tell you what, Toyota's been partnering with Subaru with the BRZ, and they partnered with BMW when they built the Supra, because they didn't want to have to reinvent a new six-cylinder, so they borrowed the BMW 6. The Subaru, same motor, Boxer, they didn't have to reinvent the wheel. This is ground up. This car is based on a Corolla, but it's all-wheel drive. It's got a rear differential, new floor pan. This is probably one of the better subcompact sport racers. I mean, this car is amazing. Here's the kicker. It's a 3-cylinder. And how much horsepower does it have? 300 horsepower. That means they've squeezed out 100 horsepower per cylinder. You get it in a stick, 6-speed automatic or 6-speed manual. And this year, they did bring you an automatic. Okay, 8-speed. It works, but if you want to have fun, this is it. Totally tuned suspension. The first thing you'd think of is, oh, this thing's really got to ride rough. No, it really doesn't. Toyota has designed the suspension to where, has designed the suspension where it's not as bad as you would think. But it is a track model. I mean, it's got track mode on here, so you could snap this thing into track mode, turns off quite a few little features, and you can get out there and you can just have one heck of a time. But then it's got sand and gravel. You never know. Maybe you want to go rally racing with it. And then you got eco, normal, sport mode, and I think you even have a mode that you could actually adjust your suspensions and things yourself. I like it personally. It's a 4-door. It's got fender flares. The back seat split 60-40. It's got really nice interior. And they call that new interior, it's called a Bryn-Nab synthetic leather seating. Very comfortable. They're sport seats, but they're not hardcore sport seat. So getting in and out is not that difficult, even though the driver and passenger door are a little on the small side. It's really, really not that bad. It's got launch control, and I think that's in the automatic. I don't really understand launch control. You hit the button, rev the car all the way up to, 6,000 RPM, and then you just dump the pedal and down the road you go. What's the point? So, but they do have it. You've got 18-inch wheels. You've got red capped calipers, brake calipers. You got red cap calipers, forged carbon fiber roof, and we'll show you that a little closer. It's kind of interesting. You've got the 12.3 digital dash. You've got aluminum sport pedals. You got a 7-speaker JBL sound system. You got Star Safety, 10 airbags, Toyota Safety Sense. So you've got it all. I mean, you've got safety. Now, it's not overly technical, as far as that type of equipment. I have to agree, say one thing. You get in this car, it says you're timed out. You got to push 3 buttons before everything comes back to normal. I wish I could get around it. I haven't quite figured it out, but I'm sure Carrie could. Base price, $38,860. Tested out at $45,515. That's like 50% higher than a stock Corolla. Are you getting your money's worth? Without a shadow of a doubt. Just take it out and drive it. Comes with multiple colors. This one is heavy metal, which kind of makes sense. I like the look. All of the vents and intakes and outs, they're all functional. They all do exactly what it says. One thing we don't normally do, but we are going to do it today, I want to show you under the hood. Which is kind of nice. No center console. We'll look at that when we come inside. Does have a phone charger. And I found out you have to turn on the phone charger, which is kind of odd. thing. Normally, once you lay your phone down, it functions out. But just the 300 horsepower is the thing that just stops my heart. Fuel mileage, you'd think with a 3-cylinder you'd be getting 40, 45. No. 28 freeway, what was it, 21 city. But, you know, that's not why you buy this car. Let's take a walk around here and take a look at the profile of the 2025 Corolla Gazoo. I love that Gazoo. I think that's cool. Okay. As you can tell, I haven't had the hood up, so I've got to find my little, there it is. Oh, there we go. So it's not really anything outstanding. It was nice enough they put a little kind of a red flare to it just to kind of give it a better look. I was surprised it doesn't have a bar going across the nose, but I'm sure with Toyota doing the design on it, they didn't see a need. So it must come in and out of the turns extremely well. You've got a lot of functional venting all the way across the front. You got the blacked out grille. So, you know, everything is very functional on this car. Your competitors is the Honda Civic R, the Golf R, and those are two of your stronger competitors. Probably a little nicer interior, but that's not really, you know, what Toyota was all about. Toyota was really, they wanted to be competitive, and they definitely made that happen. So you got the venting in the front, so it helps, you know, takes the heat out of it. So you've got that, and it's stylish, it looks good. One other thing, I mean, they go down right down here to these little, what I call epaulets, and it's all for getting through the wind and trying to keep it as quiet as possible inside. You got the beautiful, I mean, blacked out wheels and the great TRD, which is Toyota Racing Division. You've got look at the calipers. Even the calipers have got grooves in it to dissipate heat, front and rear. You see out here on the lower sill, GR4, and that's for all-wheel drive, just in case. Little trivia question when you're at the cocktail party. One is what's GR stand for, and two, what's GR for. All right.
So I want to point something out real quick. I normally don't speak on camera. The difference between the rotor sizes in the front, where most of your braking is done.
Right.
Look at the size of that rotor.
Right.
And the size of the rear rotor. That front rotor is significantly larger.
Right.
That's a great design feature.
Right. And they do that strictly because when you take this car out on a track, and I've had the opportunity to do so, I mean, this thing has got, I mean, amazing G-forces that you can go roaring around in. You see 3 exhaust pipes coming out, one on outer edge and one dead in the middle. You've got a diffuser, and that's what they call this, because they're trying to control the air that's coming underneath this car. I know it sounds crazy, but they don't want it to lift. You've got the wing up on the roof. And oh, let's come back here for a second and see if we can pick up the texture of the roof and just see what it's got. Kind of a graphite, you know, type of a roof on here, and it's kind of interesting, I thought. And it was done, you know, intentionally as far as getting underneath it. You know, you got your 60-40 splits. You got a nice hard cover that can come off if you wanted to do it. They give you a nice Corolla mat. And then, of course, there's all your storage. There's your, that's they put, if you'll notice, batteries in the rear, and they do that intentionally for trying to get as close to a 50-50 weight balance on this car. And then, if I can do this. So you don't have a spare tire, you know, you have a compressor type unit. It's not a lot of space, you know, because you're, you know, with this unit here, you've got a lot less space than normal. Manual, you know, hatch release. take a look inside. I'll have to kick the seat forward. And the seats are manual, no power seats. Power windows, nice little red stitching that kind of accents it, the chrome pedals. And you've got all, some controls here, auto headlights. Reset your odo, you got a steering wheel heater, rear defroster, which is really nice, and a lot of controls that are redundant up on the steering wheel on both sides, which is really nice. Yes, you got to push the clutch in. Not abusive, but when it gets to sporting around, you can do that. Now, it sits, I've got it in normal mode right now. I kind of like the little hum that comes with it. And you got a center console in the rear with a nice little cup holders. No sunroof. It's all about, believe it or not, rigidity. You've got the little nice touch. Got your speaker in the middle and the speakers in the front and on the passenger side for when you are talking on your phone, which is kind of nice. If you'll notice, they've got a pad that you can lay stuff on, but it's not going to hold anything. A couple of cup holders, which are fine. I'm going to move this only because this is one where you've got your push for track, and you'll be able to see it. You'll be able to see it up on the dash. Now what you have here. So we'll go ahead and hit this. And let's see, I wonder if I have to put the, okay, there's gravel, and that's where it puts it down here. So you got gravel, you got normal, and then you got track. So that's it, so it doesn't get totally carried away, but let's see. But you also have driving modes, and when you do that, it changes everything. So you've got custom, sport, normal, and eco. So right here, so we're on eco, we're on normal, we got sport, and see how it changes. You got, when you're in your normal, it just gives you your tachometer, but if you put it into sport, it puts your tachometer up on top and it goes left to right. And then of course if you go custom, it leaves it the same. This is a turbo gauge. It shows you how much boost you're putting through the car if you need to know. You then, of course, it's got your important water, oil, and, gives you your controls over your oil temp, water temp. So it's pretty intuitive here. Now, here's what I was talking about that kind of irritates me, because every time I shut the car off and then start the car up, your session has expired. Okay, so you got to push that. And then your map comes on. No, we got to talk. So it comes around. And I don't know why. It wants to give me an email address. Forget your username. No, I don't want to do that. But I imagine if I put all my information, I would lose that. So that I take that, I get that out. Now I got to go to all of this information. Manual setup, sign in as a guest. And then, of course, it has all of your personal information, Bluetooth, general, and notification. I'm not too wild about it. And then when I finally get to my map, there's my map. And then, of course, you've got your radio, got your phone. And then here you've got trip information and vehicle alerts. And then, of course, which is the one that we were on a second ago, which, all right, I'm not just a big fan of necessarily. It's got the GR team, so that's you must be able to connect to the team, set yourself up as a primary driver, manual setups. Let's see if it's what it's going to walk us into. So you got to enter an account and all that. I'm not doing that. But it's not a bad screen. It's what, 12.3, which is kind of interesting. It's got, you know, mirrors with sliders, which are kind of nice when you put it on the side. They do light up, you know, if you're gonna do your makeup or see if you got cookies in your mustache. But very comfortable. It's comfortable in the trunk. Oh, one thing I did want to mention that I was not a big fan of is when when I pull out of my driveway and I look to the right to see any oncoming traffic. The B pillar on this car is huge. So it's really, you either got to sit close, you got to sit up, or you got to sit back. Because when you stop and think about it, this B pillar from inside is like this wide. So it does block your view as far as people coming this way. It's a small complaint. The other thing I like, though, I'll have to say, is it's got an inside gas door release. Not that people are able to steal gas like they used to back in the day. But you got to like the look. You just really have to like the whole stance of it. It's fun to drive. I think it'd be a great little commuter. Little pricey, but boy, I tell you what, it's a car that you're gonna, what do I always say? If you're not smiling what you're driving, get out of it. All right, well, that's it. That's a 2025 Corolla. There is a few modes. There's a Core, the luxury, and then there's one other move up. I think you can get into it base around under 40. I personally like it with all the bells and whistles. I don't think I would change. And then there was a Marizo, which is a little different, no back seat, really a little bit more hardcore, a little bit more expensive, but of course it's a Toyota. How you gonna beat a Toyota? All right, folks, hope you've had a wonderful morning. I have, down here at Lindo Lake, talking all about the Corolla. We'll see you next couple of days, and you never know what we're gonna bring in. Oh, I've got the new Corvette coming, so stay tuned for that right here on My Motoverse.